Good evening. We will call the meeting of Graham Appearance Commission to order tonight at 6 p.m., April 7th, 2025. If we could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We could just now take a moment for silence. I think we need to do roll call, but it's not here. But if you don't mind, Evan, if I could just do roll call, please. Cheryl Ray,
Here.
Charles Britt.
Charles Britt,
Here.
Zipporah Clark Baldwin here. So we're here tonight with Miss Brandy McCandless and the commission, and we're going to be going over the Arbor Day finalization of the program. And if we have Miss McCandless already at the podium, if you just state your name and address.
Do you need to do approval first?
Oh, yeah, do we need to do minutes?
Oh. Well, yeah, I was gonna let her go in case she needed something else, but if you want to do the minutes, we can. But yeah, so Brandy, if you just go ahead and with your presentation, let's get this finalized and then we'll come back as a commission and approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, the items for tonight that we need to discuss are the Arbor Day Art Contest winners. We need to discuss the prizes and how they're going to be distributed between the art contest and the rock hunt, as well as working on a final schedule and what parts are going to who. We decided most of that, but Miss Ray was out, so we didn't want to assign anything last time. And just discuss that. Do we want to go over the prizes first before you actually
Yes,
through
please.
winners?
Yes, ma'am.
So Evan and I looked at the prizes that were already collected prior to this evening and distributed them through the Kindness Rock Hunt and the art contest. The only question we had was when businesses were approached for the prizes, did they ask for their prize to go towards a certain
I think it was Arbor Day and
just Arbor Day in general?
Yeah.
Just Arbor Day in general and Rock Hunt. They did know that we were collecting for two different,
Okay, because we didn't want to promise if they thought it was going one to the other.
no,
I believe the only thing I saw that was labeled for a specific event was this $50
Harvard.
64 Harvard gift card.
Because and we asked for
Mhm.
that specifically. I said, 'cause Bernadette said one for the adult, just one. And I said, if we could do two for children, that would be great. And so that's what she did.
Okay. The rock hunt, right now I have it set up online where there's 5 prizes and 1 prize per rock. All 5 rocks are downtown. One of the rocks over the weekend was found like 3 or 4 times, the same rock.
Oh.
So that rock, say it was rock number 5. If it was rock number 5, that one person that found the first one would receive that prize.
I want to go back to one thing you said. Was the $50 64 Harvard, was that for the adult art? Is that what you said, Bernadette?
Yes.
Okay, so that,
Mhm. And then if you see.
I thought I heard her just say that.
Okay.
Yeah, and the 64 Harvard was for the adult art and the 220, it should be 225s.
They
for-
do have it in middle and high.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
we
correct.
had the 64 Harvard down for the adult. But I think somewhere Evan had found it was for the rock
Mhm.
hunt, but we can switch that.
Mhm.
And that's why we put the court floors. It just
No.
seemed that 64 Harvard fit best with the art. So that's why we put them
Oh,
with the
okay.
art contest.
Yeah. And I don't think Bernadette would have a problem with that, moving that around because
I thought you said it was for the adult art winner.
it was for the adult art
Okay,
winner, but
that's right
yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Okay, sorry.
That's it.
I just remember like.
Now, that's what I remembered, but if she has a different approached by it, we can just simply leave that open and maybe change it around, but I don't think she's gonna be that particular about it. Um, but I think it was for the adult art. I could text her.
Okay. So I think 3 of the rocks have been found. So 1, 2, and 3 have been claimed. Well, those prizes will be claimed.
So you said we had 3 people to find the same rock.
Mm-hmm.
So once they find the rock is not collected and turned in. We don't have instructions about what to do or?
Well, I only have but this much space to put the rules in hopes that they go to the website to see all the details.
Okay,
And I do have the QR code to the website on the back of the rock as well. But what we could do, since I do have saplings being donated, the first time they found the rock, then they get a prize. If somebody else finds the rock over and over again, we could just give them like a little swag bag from Graham Recreation and Parks, with a sapling. So they could still win something that is tree related. But that's how we have it set up right now, because they don't always, I think one of the rocks someone took home just by the picture that I received of the rock. But the other rock, I think it has remained downtown. The
Okay.
one that's been found 3.
so the one that's found 3 different times, is there a way maybe we could give better or further instructions for next year and this year, award them equally? So there's no discrepancy about my child did find it, your child. I mean, it's just because they're children.
Well, this is what we have online. We do have the information online.
Oh, you do?
It says, that there's 1 prize per rock and there's 5 prizes. It does say it online. I just can't put everything on the back of a rock. So that's why we send them to the website.
But with the instructions, can we say the rock to be turned in downtown or at the, once it's found, turn it into Evan or something going forth? I know you can't do it for this year. It's already.
We can look at it for next year. The only thing is City Hall's not
open.
always open,
That's true.
or the rec center or our museum.
Well, if they can hold it, if they can hold the rock open and I mean, hold it, the rock and then maybe just turn it in between the hours of 8 to 5, Monday through Friday.
Yeah,
Something just.
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, that would be good. But I think this year we did good and we just overlooked or omitted that step because we didn't anticipate that happening, but
It's happened over the past years.
okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe going forth next year, we'll just have more specific instructions. That'd be good.
We also have the Buffalo Lanes that have been added in since Evan and I put this list together.
That's what I was gonna
So
suggest.
unless you want to go that route,
I would.
if someone has found the rocks repeatedly
Yeah.
until those, because we have wild prizes last
Mhm.
as well.
So with the prize that you were selecting for the person that's already found the rock, which one of those were you looking at? For the-
I'll just have to look back at the email and see which order they were found in.
Oh, okay, because maybe if they can all be $10 recipients? Could we do that? Is there a way we can do that? Because we have,
Like we,
3 of
yeah, 3
each
$10,
amount.
3 $25, and 3 $50.
well, there was only 3 people that we are in, it's 3 people that
I'll
found the
have to
same
go
rock?
back and look and see when they came in and which rock it was.
Okay.
I don't have that in front of me right now.
Okay, that's fine, no problem, no problem. But yeah, if we can just find the 3 for 10 or just the movie tickets, then we know that they are all the same. Because I think we had 4 movie tickets. So we can
like
take-
the idea of just the tree sapling. I mean, I think this is really organized well. And then just let it be a tree sapling. I mean,
Yeah, last year, if they found the rock again, they didn't get a prize. We're like, oh, this rock's already been found, like, thanks for playing.
yeah.
But with us having like the little swag bags with a sapling, they're still walking away with
Yeah.
something and it's tree related and it's a little education.
And
piece.
And we did get some swag bags also from 64 Harvard.
Okay,
And some other little certificates were in that as well.
okay. I haven't seen the prizes until
Yeah.
this evening.
Yeah,
So-
there's some more.
So then for the Buffalo Lanes, which were very generous, can that be just something on the day of? Like if, like, there's some kind of, or at the event, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, is there a drawing at the event that attendant, I mean, because how are you gonna plug and play that now? I mean, $50, you have three $50 and the others are 25, like, there's just a bigger value there.
You know,
I'm like, I don't know.
just my thought, because we do have this art in front of us and this is new. And if they're all selected tonight, maybe we can move those, that $50.
Has this been advertised?
No.
Oh,
I mean, we could do, when it comes to the art contest, it's art and poetry, right? Is it kind of what we decided last time?
Yes,
It was either or.
Any type of media is what
Right.
we ask for, art media.
So, I mean, if we have enough, we could distribute, because I will say the Buffalo Lanes thing's obviously more for kids. So, or family, in general. So I would probably say like spread those out as like a second, third and fourth prizes for each category. If we have that many entries, I don't know.
For art entries, we have 3 adults and 1 child, 1 elementary child. That's all that we've received.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there still, I mean, it's still open, right?
It closed yesterday.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Because we needed to decide.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we, just in case there was multiple categories, we did decide the winners, I think. So we have 4 pieces of art in front of us, and then we have 4 prize categories. So I think we'll probably end up breaking the mold of, there's no high school or middle school person to give a prize to, so we could change these categories to adult, and then you guys just assign it however you'd like. But, yeah, that was one thing Brandy was saying. We have 4 and we have 4 prizes.
Okay, so for,
and no poetry.
Just the artwork.
It's lovely.
it's beautiful.
That's why I was thinking the Buffalo Lanes, if it could be something that day, because then it just
So
is,
everything.
it's
I'm sorry.
wonderful.
Go ahead.
No, that's.
Maybe we could do like a door prize.
So
thing.
everything is closed. We didn't get any, thing from the,
Peak Resources?
yes.
No, after, I gave you some of the information to pass on to them, I didn't receive any of the submissions. Brandy was kind of the one that got, these
Everything.
artists got in contact with her when they did submit their art. So I did not receive anything or get anything dropped off to me at City Hall. This is what we ended up with.
And that window has also closed.
Yes, just,
Yes, the art contest closed yesterday.
I mean, the poetry,
It was all.
It was the same
It's
thing.
all one,
art.
everything is closed. Yeah, so that window's also closed. Okay, well, we gave them opportunity. Hopefully they will participate next year.
so I guess
Okay.
if you guys are okay with the setup now, ignoring the Buffalo Lanes. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, well, something to consider too. We have 9 Buffalo Lanes gift cards if you add 3 of each, and we have 9 categories. So we could just kind of add a Buffalo Lanes gift card to each category.
Each category,
But
yes.
then the amounts is where it gets tricky as far as what
Who
3
gets what?
categories.
I know, that's what I just like.
I know, I was gonna, I didn't want to bother him, but I didn't know if we could keep the $50, but make it increments of 10. Maybe if he could take the $50 and just make 5 10s.
And I can ask him.
Yeah,
So here's a question.
Hmm?
If we're beating this horse. Could we, like, if we just said we wanted to do 3 $50 drawings at the event, could we keep the other for something down the road?
I'm sure he'd be fine with that.
Yeah,
I
I
can
mean,
ask.
you're the
because
one-
that has happened in the past. Brandy has been able to keep some things over to the next year.
Yeah.
So, I
They'll
mean,
still be good, I think.
Yeah.
so.
you know, there's no expiration date, is it?
There shouldn't be.
I don't see one on the card.
Okay.
I just think this is already so well thought out. It's hard to
Mm.
start plugging and playing, but
Yeah.
I would love to do something with some of those gift cards. That's why I kind of felt like an
Mm-hmm.
attendance, like, right, you show up, put your name in a thing, whatever it may be,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
and then you save the rest, because we can come up with something different. Like, we're always coming up with creative stuff.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Yes,
If it's gonna be a raffle, and it's kind of just saying what you just said, just use the 3 $10 for the raffle and then save the larger ones, the 50 and $25 for next year's prizes.
We can do that.
Okay.
and how How are we doing the raffle?
Now, I have some raffle tickets, like the little fair admittance
Yeah.
tickets with the
Yeah.
2 signs. I can bring
That's fine. We'll
and
be
we
sure
can put
to
them in a jar.
add a space.
How many do we need?
Just a roll and
Yeah.
The whole roll?
Well, how many people
Okay,
are
well, I
coming?
got it.
Yeah, if they're coming, then
Yeah,
everybody
good.
gets
Well, and I was gonna say, we'll just add when we go to the ceremony schedule, we'll be sure to add a line where Brandy thinks or where you guys think appropriate for the raffle. Probably toward the end, I would imagine would be.
What, yeah, to make them stay. Entice them to stay. Brandy, let me ask you this, just so we can maybe help facilitate the process for next year. Would it be a good idea to say we need X amount of children at a certain amount, X amount of middle school, certain amount? X amount of, you know what I'm saying? Each category, just go ahead on and say a specific amount and we can collect for that. We can say we're looking for, 5 children at $10. We're looking for, this, that, and the third. So then when you get those $10, it's elementary, 15, whatever you decide, or whatever we decide as a group, that automatic, because that way you don't have to go through this next year going forth. If we just set a specific amount for each category, then we know when we're collecting, we're gonna need 5 rocks. So are they gonna be at $10, $20 for the rock contest? Is it gonna be for 15, 20, 30, whatever for the,
Mm.
each category? That way to help her and she won't have to spend this time.
Well, again, that's gonna take the pre-planning that we kind of missed a little bit of.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Prior
going
to, because
forward. But next
we
year
were
can
still,
we help?
we were still asking for prizes up to last meeting, so.
And that's normally about what we do. I mean, it normally runs until about the last meeting or this meeting. Sometimes we've had to hold it over last year because we had something else come up. So we're kind of flexible with that, but I just want to make sure we can help her and because I'm sure this is a little time consuming, didn't take a lot of time because Evan has a mind of a scientist. We were sitting there just splitting out stuff and he was saying, okay, yeah, so this was for that and that was for that. And he was looking at us like, is there anything else? And no, but they are young. They can get this stuff. We can get it to them more simplified manner. I think that's going to help expedite the process because this right here has already taken us 20 minutes.
I think
And
to ask for, if we go out for donations, to ask for $20 gift card, like to have a flat
flat fee
$25
across the board.
or $50, or just to have it so that it's consistent prizes as well.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's usually what we have gotten. I feel like it's fairly consistent. These are great prizes.
They really are. And people were so generous and we did the little spiel and they were just happy. Well, we had a struggle with some, trying to make them understand that we couldn't, the reason why we're doing gift cards was to direct the traffic back to the businesses. We felt like that would help them because if they get the gift card, they have to come back here to spend it. And some people were worrying about the lack of traffic and they're worried about different events that's going to take away. I said, this has nothing total different, nothing to do with that. We can't discuss that with you today. That would be another meeting. But the idea for the gift cards is wonderful because like I said, it's going to drive more traffic downtown. Hopefully that's our intent. And they were told that. And so I think it kind of opened up some windows because we had to go back several times. So I think what you're saying is going to work for us and we will know exactly what it is that you would like for each category. And we can go in asking just for that. And because it's $45 for the floors.
These are wonderful. We should- I
$50
mean,
for
these
Harvard.
are generous. I don't think we should you can't, I mean, these are like looking a gift horse in the face, right? These are wonderful. It's great. I mean, maybe in the future we just say, typically this is around the range we want, right? If they want
Yeah.
to give more, by all means, it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we don't want to stop
I mean, if they
it.
want to give more, try to break it up in
Yeah.
the
Smaller,
ways
yeah,
that
and
work well
multiple
for us.
Right, so if they want to do 50 and she's saying 20, then we could say, well, could you give us 2 20s and a 10 or do 10, 5 10s or whatever she decides the money amount to be for next year. we can just ask for that in those increments to help you with this process.
Yeah, it could be any amount you want. It was,
Okay.
we were just trying our best to distribute as equally as we could with what we had.
Yes, oh God, yeah, I know, I understand. But with the rock hunt, we can say a price. You know, with the elementary, we can say a price, middle school, so forth and so on. And then we can, I mean, I think they'll be susceptible.
So this is good?
Yes,
All right.
I think so.
good.
So I'll let folks know and I'll put the prizes like together,
Okay,
and let folks know how to collect them throughout the month. Once I have the saplings, I should be picking those up, hopefully Friday, not Friday, it'll be closer to Arbor Day. And that way we can give them as they find the rock repeatedly.
Okay.
They'll still walk away with something this year.
that is good. Thank you so much. Now, moving to the next segment, Brenda, you want to go over the act, oh, while we're here, about the people that did donate. I think, are we going to be able to mention them on the program or have some type of insert thanking them for their contributions? We will
Yeah, we can do
acknowledge.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if we could, please, that would be great.
Yeah, I had that on my list as we're looking at the schedule, the things we had to decide, but adding the raffle and also either speaking or writing in the program to thank the sponsors that are basically on that list.
Mhm. Yeah, if we can add it to the program and I can read them off.
Okay, that's fine. Where do you think that would be best at, Brandy? I don't have the. let me see if I-
I'd say.
I think
I'd say
after
at
the tree
end.
planting,
I was gonna
after
s-
the music.
Yeah, I was gonna say at the end when we do the raffle, we can also mention it then,
Okay.
Yeah.
since we're adding.
Where would you add the raffle, after we retire the flag or before? Because-
Before, retire the flag needs
It's
to
the
be the
end, that's
final.
it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
the final.
So we can retire the flag and then we could, give
sponsors.
thanks to the sponsors.
And would you
Wasn't
want
before-
I mean, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry. We can do the planting of the
Mhm.
tree, then the music, and then do the,
We'll do the raffle
sponsor.
and thank the sponsors during the raffle.
to?
No, I don't want to confuse the two. I want them separate. I want to make sure they clearly understand that this is the time you're being recognized.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So we could be, it could just be, thank you for our sponsors, so forth. So, whoever that gave prizes for these things and then do the raffle right after that.
Okay?
And then
Yeah.
the flag. At
That's
least that's
good.
how I
I
think.
think it
I-
sounds
No,
good,
no,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Would would one of you guys want to volunteer to do that? I know Chair Clark Baldwin's already speaking. Miss Ray is, we're
Well,
going,
Cheryl and I'll do the raffle.
okay, okay.
Want to
And,
recognize the sponsors, Mr. Brett?
Yeah, I can.
okay, so,
We want to make it funny. But I greatly do appreciate everyone's participation. Mr. Britt, thank you. You're out of the city and you still work very hard in making this happen, coming together with us, and showing your consistency in being a part of the board, and that's very important. In the absence of Bernadette tonight, she worked very hard, did her due diligence, and really supported the task. Cheryl came aboard, and we really had a good time downtown. And I'd like for us to spend more time downtown, just getting to know what's there and the business owners. And when they see our face, they'll know exactly, who we are, what our intentions are for the city. It means more than just going around collecting. It gave us a time to actually to be able to create some type of friendship, awareness. And I enjoyed it. Back to you, Brandy. I'm sorry.
Okay, before we jump into the ceremony schedule, I did make note of what we just
Okay.
talked about, to decide the winners of the art contest.
Okay.
And if you're wanting to distribute the 4 prizes, if we do not have a middle school and high school entry, we can do a first, second, and third. And then we have our elementary.
We have one elementary, right?
Mm-hmm.
and so for the elementary, we did the 4 movie tickets just because, it seems like it would be fun for the student to go with their family maybe, or whoever, or some friends, and then $20 to Sutton's. And then the 3 adults, just kind of 2 are the same, and then $50 to 64 Harvard. So you can decide which one's kind of first. Second and
First-
third are probably these 2 right here.
First is $50.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second and third are just, they're equal.
Yeah.
So that's good
So I guess what you should, all you have to do is pick one winner out of the adults.
for the adult.
So
And the elementary is the one, where is it?
Mhm.
Oh.
What school were they at?
South Graham.
writing Graham, like that.
Second grade. Good.
So that's student would win 4 movie tickets and a $20 gift card to Sutton's for their submission. And then the 3 adult pieces, if Brandy has any names or information, but they're obviously the 3 right in front of you. They're all very good.
They are all very good. So Brandy, were you, is this starting number 1 to our left, your right, or? Okay. Okay, you guys want to judge
Do we have
number
any,
1?
do we have any information on them or anything? No, maybe?
This is Elizabeth Withrow.
Elizabeth Withrow,
This piece is called Tree Line Street.
3 Lime Street,
Mhm.
out of Burlington.
Rebecca Pennington.
Rebecca Pennington, Caesars,
Uh,
Elon,
And then Lydia Applegren.
Lydia Applegran.
Not have a name for the piece or where she's from.
Yes, but a
Oh.
very nice tree. I think if you guys want, maybe rank them by yourself and then we can go down the line and tell me which order you have 1, 2, and 3 in.
I'm going to vote number 2, number 1,
Okay.
number
Okay.
3, number 2, and number 1, number 3.
Just confused me. I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Wait, so number 3 is number
2, number 1,
number 2 is number 1 for
number
you.
2, number 3 is number 2, and number 1 is number,
yes.
okay. Mr. Britt, does anybody else have anything they wanna? I'll give some, trying to get some
What
points
order?
here.
Let's see, what, 1, 2, 3, so the middle one, 1,
Okay,
that one, the big one, 2,
okay,
and the street line trees, 3.
yes.
Yep, okay.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
No, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I-
So
I
that was-
It-
Same
it-
order?
I concur.
You concur?
All right, so that means first place belongs to the middle one,
Yeah,
which,
seasons.
Seasons.
and then second was our unnamed. Free.
Lydia.
Lydia
And then,
autographed hers.
Of the Tree Line Street.
type. Okay. There we go.
I know.
Yeah.
And we'd like to thank each of them for their entries, and we encourage more people to come aboard. We have plenty of prizes. Okay, yes, ma'am. Miss Brandy, what would you like to discuss next, ma'am?
And then the last thing to discuss is the schedule, which is pretty much done
Mhm.
from our last meeting, but if everyone just wants to look over it. We have the invocation, and since our last meeting, Pastor Ron Harris with Greater Love World Outreach Ministries was confirmed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then we present the flag with the welcoming remarks. We have the Pledge of Allegiance and our mayor will speak. Has anyone reached out to the mayor about coming to the event or any of city council?
I have, and the mayor says she plans to be there.
Okay,
I
Um,
believe she said that.
I would like to see if we can make, Mr. Brett, would you like to take on the responsibility about Arbor Day and Graham?
Which one?
About Arbor Day and Graham?
Oh, yeah, if it's written out for me.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
I'll read
And then
whatever
if
you want me to
Brenda, if
read.
you would move me down to the tree planting honor and
In here.
Remembering
Vicky.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that, the speaking piece for Vicky, it may be one of her relatives or a friend who may be speaking on behalf
Oh,
of her.
okay,
But I haven't received confirmation on if they're going to be here or who that's going to be.
okay,
But if they're unable to come, hopefully they would present us something to read.
okay.
And if someone from our department doesn't read it, since it is a former coworker,
Okay, oh, yeah,
you
that,
m-
okay.
you may be able to, but
No,
that's,
no,
that
that's fine.
space may already be taken.
Okay, well, I'd like to incorporate Mr. Britt either way. So, yes,
That's
sir,
fine.
if you would please just take on that role for, about Arbor Day and Graham.
Yep.
And I will be emceeing, so that's fine. And
And I think the other one I had highlighted was, Miss Ray, are you okay to do Arbor Day history like you did, I believe, last year?
Sure.
Okay.
Just general history. And then Claire, yours is more why Graham celebrates Arbor Day and the piece about us being a Tree City, USA.
There's good information on the website for that.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, everything you need is on our webpage.
Yeah.
You could probably just print it off and read it.
Yes.
Probably what I'll do.
Yeah.
But prior
could
to
write
that,
down-
the mayor will read the proclamation with the North Carolina Forest Service. And I believe Tim has confirmed there he will be there. I don't know if Smokey Bear will be there or not. But NC Forest Service will be at the event. So yeah, then we go over to, Clell's going to tell us about Arbor Day and Graham. Miss Ray will tell us about Arbor Day history in general. And then Bernadette Conzelman will speak on the importance of wide stewardship and contribution of trees.
Can I make one more suggestion while we're
Sure.
talking about you guys had originally decided that Mr. Britt could read the sponsors. I believe the only member, and she's not here tonight, so we could keep Mr. Brett as a backup plan, but we could offer Miss Odell so that everybody, at least on the board, has something that they're speaking
That would be
on.
great, yeah.
So she can read the sponsors off.
Yeah.
That's a good
But
idea.
if she's not comfortable with that on the day of, then Mr. Brett, if you would be our backup, our bullpen guy.
Well, I can be the backup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just let me take back on that role.
Okay.
Because I interact with them and they, you
Okay.
know,
But we'll see if Miss Odell wants to do the raffle then with Miss Ray.
yes,
Okay.
we'll give her something to do.
Whatever we need to.
Yeah, make her.
We
make
won't
her
put any names down.
Very much welcome. Okay, yeah,
And then the type of tree, you're gonna do that,
the
right?
type of tree. And Brandy's gonna give me exactly what I need to know.
Yes. And it will be a sugar maple, the family decided.
And
on
if
the
you just
sugar maple.
email me that, because I do like for it to resonate with my spirit.
Okay. And then our chorus group, I taught with Dr. Ken today, will be plant conservation trees.
They had a special practice, guys. They are really so eager to please
That's awesome.
this committee and this event and represent well. And if Miss Bunny is present, I did mention to them that she may want to sing along with them because the mayor made a request for her to sing it. So if she's available, I'm sure they would welcome her with open arms, but I haven't heard whether or not if she's going to be available or if she's interested. Someone recommended her, but she's not confirmed that. So I haven't given her name to them because she hasn't given me permission to do that.
Okay.
So I-
But while the tree is actually being planted into the ground, that's when they sing the song. And Public Works will be there for that piece. And then we will have the raffle and have a raffle by Zipporah and Cheryl Ray, correct?
Mhm.
And then our sponsors will be recognized by Emily, and if Emily's not there, then you will step in,
Yes.
Zipporah. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we close with the Star Spangled Banner as we retire the flag
They
with
practice that.
the Voices One Celebration Choir.
Nice.
And that's what I have.
That sound good to
Okay.
everybody?
This sounds great.
And then we'll have tree saplings to hopefully give away to everyone there. I'm not sure how many yet. I'll know this week. So if we have plenty, then everyone that's participated in Arbor Day will be able to
Get a treat.
receive one. And
Right.
that is everything I have, unless you can think of something else.
Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Mr. Brett, you good?
Well, you did
Mm,
ask
mm.
if this board invited, all of council, and have you invited all of them?
Yes, all of the council are
Okay.
well informed and the mayor has recognized our invitation and she has indicated that she will be there. And we normally get a good support
Yeah,
from them.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that relationship continuing.
And it will also be available on Zoom as a webinar. Folks can click in if they're unable to attend to watch. And then it will live on the City of Graham YouTube channel following the event.
Anything else, guys?
Gift card.
Mr.
for Buffalo
Workman?
Trace.
Not on that. There is our, I think Miss McCandless is gone. No,
All
I
right.
think we're all good. As long as y'all are all good.
Brandy, thank you so much
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon.
for your endless work. We appreciate you allowing us to be a part of this great event. Okay, guys, moving right along. Next on our agenda, we would like to then go back to the beautification grants. Evan, didn't we have one that we have
We-
that's pending?
Yeah, we did. This is the project. It is a window replacement at the southeast corner building of Court Square.
Mm-hmm.
The applicant, I believe, is here
Here.
with EP Gates Construction or Court Square Development Group. And we did have, I'm pretty sure about the amount, but I'll double check. I think it was $334 left over from last,
From the last meeting?
yes, from the last of the allocations that
Okay,
we had.
all right.
Mhm.
So I'd like to make a motion that we now open a public hearing. Is the representative here?
Second for the
May I
public.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If the representative is here, if they please step forward to the podium and speak clearly into the microphone, state your name and address. Hello.
Sorry, I thought Chuck was coming. He didn't realize. So it was tonight. So, I think the question that they had last time was the windows gonna be the same and they're gonna be exactly the same that's there? Just the wood above that is having to be replaced. It'll just be white. They'll be white instead of that
Instead
kind of,
of
I
that
don't know what color you would call
Burgundy or
that.
whatever,
Yeah.
rust color. Yeah,
Mhm.
we did go ahead with the HRC and we stated that the aluminum would be a fine product to use if that's the way he was going. So either way, we approved
The-
either way.
Whoever put those in, they're not original to the window, to the building, but whoever put those in, like, it's like cheap masonite type wood, and it's like all swollen up. I mean, trust me, you know.
Yes, yes.
If we have something that's original and we can fix it, like we,
Yes.
we use wooden dowels and everything. I mean, we try to put back but none of those are original. They're
Mm-mm.
like, but it just goes to show you, they tried to save money
Mhm.
and you're already having to replace them. And if they would have not done that and just bought something that was gonna last, the windows like that we put in the Paris building back in the early 90s, I mean, they're still in great shape and they're low E, energy efficient. And we actually had somebody from the state that came out to look at what we were doing and said, what ideally do you want? Do you want wood windows back in here? He said, it's just not, it's not economically feasible to do that for businesses anymore. So they want something that's gonna have what they want is a movable, sash so that the door, that the window
Window
actually
actually opens.
operates up and down, not something that is, a solid
Stationary.
piece like what you see in a hotel room or something. So they want to see that mutton, that's in there and to try to go back with what's substantially similar visually from the exterior. And that's what we try to do is to put that, back visually.
The reason why I'm familiar with this, guys, is because they have come before the Historic Resource Commission. And what we decided there was that the materials that were presented on the original estimate, we went with that. They did look at it as far as the durability, the longevity, and we gave him the opportunity to choose between the two. So what she's describing is that material that's there now. It's rotten, it's swollen. Is to the point that if you have to lift the window, you may not have that ability to do so. So that again is a fire hazard, cause all types of problems. What they are projecting is something that's gonna be, where the window can come up and down, which is one of the requirements. I think it's a good deal.
Yeah, and COA approval's already been confirmed, so there's nothing for you guys to have to worry about as far as the material or
Nothing.
anything like that.
Right.
You guys can just decide if you're gonna award this project the remaining funds after you close the public hearing, and that's really, unless you have any other questions for our applicant. I
Anyone
just wanted to let
else
you
have
know, you
any
don't have to worry about the
questions?
material.
The
Yeah.
only thing
But-
that, I don't know if I can ask for it now, but we may need an extension because the windows probably are gonna take 3 weeks to get. They're custom ordered. And so they come out of Virginia. But they usually require like a 3-week lead time. And that's gonna put us right at the deadline since they're being approved so late. So
You can
Us-
just email me.
Okay.
We can do 1-month extensions at the staff level as long as they do a written request. So as long as I get an email, that should be fine.
okay.
So yeah, I would like to now close the public hearing. Might I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so with discussion, anybody have any questions? If not, we move to approve it as written. Okay.
Or, sorry,
The-
approve the full
The full
remaining
amount,
award.
three,
Yeah.
yeah, the.
The remaining-
about
the remaining funds.
And then-
balance.
So do we have a second for that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, and then.
All in favor?
Aye.
All oppose. Okay,
Right.
and this will take everything we have for that budget. And I'm glad that we were able to get it reopened and have the monies allocated and made a disbursement to make sure these monies are not wasted. So we'll pay closer attention next year to our applicants and putting reminders out, just making sure they understand the deadline. But this is great. Okay, if there are not any other questions, then we'll move forward then. Other items of discussion, Evan?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, let me just make sure I save this. Okay. Yeah, that was just here because Ms. Konzelman wanted to bring this up in front of the board, just for you guys to discuss, but I believe, as you can see, NCDOT is doing their, one of their 2 times a year cleanup drives from April 12th, which I believe is a Saturday, maybe? I don't remember. For about 2 weeks, though, it looks like, later this month. So I don't know if you guys,
So today launched the cleanup North Carolina. And so we had some brief discussion this morning whether or not if either the boards here have anything planned. Now, we have in the past joined with the recreation department picking up trash. I don't know what they have on their schedule. We can join in with them, help them out, or if we want to launch our own cleanup
Yeah.
day, the parks, the streets.
Sheriff is real good about like actually taking inmates out to clean up. We had a complaint about Moore Street and he took them down there and they got a bunch of trash up down there on Moore Street.
We won't, I don't think we're gonna go with them, but.
Why not?
I don't know,
Put
well,
people to good work.
yeah, but I mean, I want them to go, but I think I will go separate.
The inmates actually enjoy it. I mean, that's good feedback from doing it.
We work with inmates on fires all the time.
And the ones that are willing, please feel welcome to do so. I'm gonna try to join with the Parks and Recreation and see what they have in mind.
is there anything that y'all have, Brandy, going on?
But,
We do not currently have anything planned.
Okay.
Okay.
Our staff's pretty good at keeping our parks clean.
yes,
so
you
we don't
are.
Have much for
I-
volunteers to do
Yes,
as
you-
far as cleaning up.
Yeah, I think unfortunately,
Who did we go out with last year? Because they provided us with some vests and some pickup sticks,
I don't remember, did we do one last year?
I think we talked about it.
but we didn't
We never
participate.
did.
So this is one of the situations where you can go to get, your local NCDOT community maintenance yard and get the reversible orange, blue trash bags, the gloves and the safety vest. So I think all it would take would be you guys to decide you want to meet and do it between these dates and do it. But if you think that's a little short notice,
Yeah, I think
I
for
just
this
wanted-
year's a short notice and we have so much going on, Arbor Day being the next day, making sure everybody's fully focused and rested. But it's a good idea for next year, we can bring it back.
or even later this year, it seems like biannual, I believe that means there should be another one probably in the fall, I would think.
Hmm.
So if
We can bring it back.
yeah, I can keep an eye out and let you guys know ahead of time instead of just the month of.
Yeah.
I'll try to keep an eye on that.
Okay, great.
But I
Sounds
just
good.
I believe we just want to talk about it. So that's all that I have.
Okay,
that.
great. Thank you, Evan. Any city council updates?
We are pretty close, I think, to getting, DOT's been kind of a slow response to, the crosswalks that we're putting back, the stamped crosswalks in the downtown for the, grant that I
Grant.
got from the state. But I think Burke heard from them, I think this past week or whatever. So, hopefully those will be going in fairly soon. I talked to the city about, pressure washing the sidewalks and everything before we have our spring events and stuff in the downtown. So I think we're working on that. And I wanted to talk to, the commission about if you guys could help with the banners, for redoing the banners downtown, helping organize that. I've got
We had actually considered that, and I think what we had asked of the council was to bring us back the actual type of banner, because one time it was a flag. Then we said banners, and then we talked about doing the actual
it's just replacing the banners that are down
direction.
there. Yep, some would be wayfinding, but the majority of the banners would be what we have out there now. And then add some wayfinding banners in addition to the ones that we have.
And we're waiting for a number of what we have in stock from Mr. Covington. So we had
Okay.
gave him that request to let us know what he has in stock and if he needed any hardware with those
Okay.
or replace any that's existing. So we're waiting on information. As soon as we get that, we can definitely open the discussion back up. And
Any other feedback you've gotten? Everybody was saying how beautiful Graham looked this weekend. We had a lot of flowers in bloom and trees in bloom and stuff, and I got a lot of good feedback from the way Graham looked downtown.
I've been getting a lot of good feedback. People are really ecstatic about Graham. There's a lot of people did not know or ever stopped in Graham that is now like, wow, I can't believe the changes. You guys have grown so much. And it's such a nice, quaint town. They used to say nice, small, but now they're saying nice, quaint town because I think we have such a broad vision now of different businesses until people are seeing it differently. They really are seeing it differently. I think we have to applaud ourselves for a great job in keeping up this city and upholding what our actual agenda is, and that is preserving the area. And I just commend all the business owners that come and apply for the grants to help beautify and keep this town in good
Edward
condition.
Jones just finished a big renovation downtown, and they've moved on to the northeast corner, of course, where they're going to hold a grand reopening, like a ribbon cutting or whatever there. So I'll let you guys know when that is, so that you
Mhm.
guys can maybe attend. But it's a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Love to see like the renovations being done, and it's really nice that people invest back into these old buildings. So
Yes, it is nice.
very nice.
Thank you. Any staff updates, Mr. Workman?
Yeah, and just for clarification too on the banners, I believe where we were at was that y'all were gonna try to piggyback along with council and kind of work out if there was any open banner area for the Veterans Banner Project. So I think once you guys get more detail about maybe how many council's looking to replace, if there's any room for any suggestions, otherwise, if you want to work with council, it sounds like they'd like to let you guys work
I
with
think
them
you
on.
already selected. Did you guys already select your flag or your banner? That's what we got the last time, I think, that you guys have
Yeah.
selected the actual banner. And you were looking for us to help with the funding, some of the funding.
No, I just really just making sure that, you guys looked at the project and found it to be appropriate and,
We have not gotten submission of the actual type
I'll
of
try to
banner.
get-
And
I'll
so
try to get
We're
something to
waiting
you.
for the type, we're waiting for the number that we have that we don't need to replace and how many we do need to replace. We're waiting for fact finding about the hardware and the installation. And we just wanted to make sure when we talked about the veterans, we also got into a situation about labor time expectancy, who would pay for the person that is hanging, because we don't have that type of money in our budget. So there's a several different things. I think, Evan, we can put together something and send to you just for specific information we need so we can go forward on that. But we think it's a great project. We're behind it, but we can't really make certain that everybody's gonna like what they see because we haven't been able to give them anything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the other update, don't forget to approve the minutes before we.
Okay, so now we'll go, yeah, thank you, we're going
Uh-huh.
back, but thank you. But we're gonna go back now for the approval of the minutes from March 2025 meeting. Have you guys had a chance to look at those?
I wasn't. in
And you
attendance.
wasn't here, Mr. Brent, you see
Yeah, I was here.
anything that we need to discuss or change, update?
I don't
Any
think so.
discrepancies? I don't see anything. So may I have a motion, please? I move a motion that we accept the minutes as presented. May I get a second? All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed? Thank you so much. Minutes will be adopted as written. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'm now going to make a motion that this meeting be adjourned. May I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All opposed? Thank you, guys, everybody, for coming out.